Hello stylers, welcome back to the FullStyle Inc channel for another video. Today's video is this beautiful lame gold metallic dress. And the best thing about this dress is that it has pockets. How cute is she? Let's get right into it. Okay stylers, we're gonna jump right in. I am cutting out my pattern pieces. Again, I traced a existing top that I had, creating a mock-up, fitted that to me, and I created my pattern pieces. Here's the fabric we're going to be using. It is this gold metallic almost lame fabric that are a pair of curtains that I got from the thrift store. I'm going to be removing all of the curtain bits and pieces, the ends, the trim, seam ripping those away, evening out, and I'm going to create I'm going to first start off creating my straps, giving myself enough fabric to make sure that I have all of the main pieces before I go into my skirt. My skirt of the dress is going to take up the bulk of my fabric. So I cut out my straps about 4 inches wide, and they are going to be about 18 inches long. I'm just cutting out my pattern pieces here, putting things on the fold that need to be on the fold, and cutting 2. So there are going to be 4 pattern pieces. This is for like a bustier top, so it is those curved weird looking pieces that we're going to have to pin together. So this is the front bodice piece, and this is the side front bodice piece. You want to pin these right sides together, making sure to line up the edge of the fabric. The fabric would not want to lay flat and straight, but you want to line up the edge, not allow the fabric to lay whichever way it wants to lay, because this is going to create the cup of the bodice for your breast. So you want to make sure that you pin this and sew it along the curve. It's doing a simple stay stitch down the sides to finish off the seams. I will go back and finish off my edges with an overlock stitch. I'm using a metallic needle for this project because this fabric it frays and it's metallic and it is delicate. I didn't want to use a ballpoint, and I felt like a micro needle was too small. So the metallic needle worked great. It didn't catch or anything. And now I'm sewing together the side back piece. So again, it's 4 pieces. The front it's the bodice side, and now this is the bodice side back. Again, lining up the edges of the fabric, even if it doesn't want to lay flat. Then I'm finally going to go in and attach and sew down my back panels. And this is cut open. There are 2 back panels because I'm going to be adding in a zipper. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my pocket before I move on to my skirt. Again, make sure I'm giving myself enough fabric to do what I need with the other pieces before I go into my skirt, because my skirt is going to take up the bulk of this fabric. And I just cut out 4 pocket pieces. So you can see me here doing 2, and then I'm gonna go and repeat the process and cut out 2 more. Now you can choose to add pockets or not. I really wanted this dress to have pockets, and this is just like a standard pocket pattern that I created. And I believe I copied this from a pre-existing pocket pattern. Now moving on, I am taking the remaining of the first panel and the second panel, which is about the entire length of the panels is like 3 yards. I'm going to do the widest stitch I'm able to do, and I'm going to do a gathering stitch. You can see me here just loosely pulling at that thread to gather up this skirt. I did make sure that I kept in mind how much I needed for my front. The largest piece is going to become my front panel, and then I'm going to need 2 additional panels for the back, and I will use that with a smaller piece. So you want to keep in mind your measurements that you're going to need to be able to attach this to your bodice. Once I've reached a nice length, I take a pin and wrap the thread around. I insert a pin and wrap the thread around it so that the gather stays. And with this one, this is going to be the back panel. I folded in half, pinning together those ends so that I can get it as even as possible, lay as flat as I can. And then I'm just going to cut, cut right along that folded edge as straight as possible. And this will become my 2 back panels, perfect for inserting my zipper and then closing off the back panel for the back seam. So now you can see me here with the bodice and that front skirt, starting at the side seams of the side bust, the front side bust. I am going to take that inwards to the front bust. And I'll explain a little bit more in a bit. So what I'm doing now is attaching the 2 panels, the 2 back panels to the back and the top of the, what am I trying to say? Of this shindig. I'm leaving room allowance. This is the first panel, the front, and this is the back. And I'm going to leave myself room for seam allowance and so that I can be able to add on my pockets. So I'm going to sew this down first so I can fit it before I put it in my pockets. I would hate to put it in my pockets and then try the thing on and it be too small. That's my fear right now. My fear of everything is that it be too small. I never think, oh, it could be too much fabric. Like my plaid skirt, that was too much fabric. It was too big. My so-called pattern measurements, false. Lies. It was too big in the waist. So that's what I struggle with most is my waist. Getting things to fit my waist. So either it's too big in the waist and it's not big enough in the hips, or it's too small everywhere. So it's the first panel. Again, I'm leaving myself some seam allowance. So what I'm gonna do is sew, skip, and then come back sewing, so that when I sew the sides together and sew in my pockets, I will have room. And hopefully by doing that, I give myself a little room for it to flare out, because this is fitted to my waist. And I know 100% fact that the top fits, because this top is based off of a mock-up skirt. It's always the other things. It's always the other things. So again, this is the second panel. Oh, that's thread everywhere. So again, this is the second panel. Ow! Oh. Maybe I should use my clip. Stabbing myself. Second panel. And again, I did this for this one. I gave myself a little breathing room because I will be adding in a zipper, and I feel like, I don't know, again, I needed to be smaller at the top and they're off, so I think leaving a little room, I don't know, that may hurt me or save me. It may be what I need to bring into the waist, but I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to, with the right sides attached together, and with this fabric you can't really tell right sides. I am going to pin, I'm going to start pinning a little over. I was hoping that this video would be simple enough where I didn't have to do this in the mission. Voice conversation. But my camera angles are really tight. There's so much stuff on this table, and it's my first time making a dress like this. So I just really wanted to make sure you guys understood what is going on in case you intend to make this but I am moving about this pretty quickly. This can easily be a 2-day project. Fabric, sew up your bodice, gather your skirt in one day, and then assemble everything the next day. Done. So again, did the same thing. Giving myself a little seam allowance here on the sides. Giving myself a little seam allowance on the ends where my zipper will be in the back. Right sides together. Now it's time to sew. Finger cross this fits. Fingers crossed. Okay, as I explained, I'm going to be sewing this right sides together, going in with a simple stay stitch, making sure that my gathers are laying flat and they're not bunching up against each other because they're already pretty much gathered. I just want everything to lay flat. Make sure I'm not getting any extra fabric underneath my skirt, and I'm going to be sewing about 3/4 inches down from that gathering stitch so that the gathering stitch is hidden away. This is what it looks like once it's all sewn together and laying flat. You can go in and press your seams and your gathers. I do that off camera. Next, I'm going to attach the pockets. So I measured about 4 inches down from the waist of my skirt, and I put the pockets right side to right side, folding over that outer edge so that it has a nice clean finish and it hides itself in the folds of the dress. And I do that for both sides, both the front side panel and the 2 back panels for the pockets. Once I have the individual flap sewed down, I go ahead and I sew up the sides of my dress, starting at the top waist, going around the outwards of the pocket, and then going back down the side of the dress, the length, the desired length I have. I do not cut out my lengths of my dresses and skirts until after I have fitted and done everything, because I want to make sure that I have the length that I need. Going on to the zipper, I did a simple visible zipper. It's a narrow one, so it's not too much fabric in this. I'm not in this off-white cream color. I apologize for the lighting. Changed out my foot for a zipper foot, and I do a simple stay stitch. Now I am closing up the back of the dress, sewing down that zipper tape, and then veering off so I give myself a nice little flare in the back. And again, I sew this down to my desired length. I will be cutting away the excess of the fabric. Now I'm going to be sewing out my cutting out my straps. I cut this fabric in half, giving me about 18 inches in length. Sew up the sides, turn that inside right side out, press this for the straps, and then I'm going to be attaching them to the top of the dress. Once I have pressed my straps, I'm going to go in and do a simple just roll hem. I only rolled the hem over once. I didn't feel like fighting with this fabric to do my roller foot, so I just simply fold it over. You can press this fabric before you sew it so that it stays firm. This is a narrow hem and you can barely see it, and I switched out my thread for like a neutral tan thread, measuring about 4 inches away from the center cut of the dress, that centered sweetheart. Measuring 4 inches away from that, I attached my strap, and then I went ahead and attached the straps to the back, and now I'm finishing everything off with a double tuck roll hem. And with that, stylist, you are done. I simply love how this dress turns out. She is like a dream. I just wish I had a holiday party to wear her to. And I went ahead and created this glitter bow purse, just using some glitter ribbon that I had, and a purse with a chain. If you guys are interested in seeing how I created this, please give this video tons of likes and leave a comment below, and I will be adding that somewhere on the internet so you guys can see it. I simply love this dress. I hope you guys love this too. I love you guys so very much. I hope you guys are staying encouraged. You made it. You made it. You made it. I love you guys. But always remember to love yourself fully. Until next time.